Hello, I'm Brad STEUBE, Sheriff of Manatee County. Welcome to Sheriff's Patrol.
And I'm Dave Bristow. Coming up on Sheriff's Patrol, several of our deputies take part in the presidential inauguration. And we'll introduce you to the Deputy and Employee of the Year. But first on Sheriff's Patrol, crime numbers are in for 2012, and the Sheriff's Office is reporting approximately a 15% drop in major crimes. Sheriff Patrol's Randy Warren has the details.
Dave, we've always put a lot of stock in the crime numbers when they come out because it's a good measuring stick of just how we're doing. But this drop in overall crime seems to show that our approach to fighting crime isn't just about working harder, but working smarter. At District 2, right in the heart of the highest crime area, patrol commanders are studying the numbers.
It's been really a group effort between our crime analysis unit, the information that they're obtaining regarding suspects, crime trends that come into play, and passing that on to us.
Then from weekly and daily meetings,
I'm concerned about 301.
Critical information about who's committing crimes, where and in what patterns is relayed back to the deputies out on the beat.
Do you have any warrants on you?
We all know that suspects don't have they're not restricted just to the city limits or the county jurisdiction, and they're committing crimes all over the place. Once we have that information, acting upon it, putting those people in jail when probable cause is developed, and that has helped by reducing the crime rate.
4416 I've been working in this area as a lieutenant for about the past 5 years or so. It's a vacant trailer. Day shift tends to be pretty busy with things like burglaries and domestics.
And stuff, I'm like, no, get off of me. And then
West Side day shift can be really busy, and some days we go call to call. But a lot of times the deputies take the extra time to find the problem people in their areas and pass on information to the specialty units. And when we've had a burglary streak of some sort, it's really important for the deputies to buy into the fact that they need to pay attention to what's going on in their area. And despite the fact that we are so busy sometimes, guys, it's over here. I'm proud of them for taking the time to find out that information and pass it to where it needs to go so we can all cooperate to keep crime down as much as we can.
As a result, more residents are speaking up, letting the sheriff's office know when things just don't look right, helping us catch crime in progress, and often preventing criminal activity.
We've had several occasions this past year where a neighbor will call in, whether it's during broad daylight or 11, 12 o'clock at night, where something's not right. The neighbor's on vacation, they give us a call, we come out there, and the person that we wind up apprehending is somebody that was either on our target list and obviously committing a bunch of crimes.
And unfortunately, a lot of times people feel that, well, I didn't really want to call and bother you, and they need to realize that it's not a bother. We'd rather catch a burglar there than go there 6 hours later and have very few leads.
And there's no substitute for good police presence.
Yeah, I think that makes a tremendous difference. Being highly visible in the community, obviously when these crime trends that are popping up, the quicker we get on them, that puts that little fire out, if you will. And so we power track units, we take other resources from our cops, deputies, undercover units. Sometimes they're undercover, sometimes we have them in marked patrol cars, but we saturate and flood that area to get that particular trend under control. It's the deputies that are out here 24/7 during the holidays. Those are the ones that are acting upon that, answering the calls for service, and keeping the community safe. So we're very proud of them.
But there's still a lot more to do. Deputies can always use your help. If you see something in your neighborhood that just doesn't look right, contact the Sheriff's Office, 747-3011. If it's an emergency, then of course dial 911. And if you want to remain anonymous, call Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS. Sheriff?
Well, Randy, as you know, we meet every Tuesday afternoon, and I've got my captains from each of the patrol districts, their operations lieutenants, and we also have all the detectives there, and we talk about what's going on. We break it down by week, by month, and also year to date. So we're keeping up with this stuff right now.
And I think one important thing to point out, Sheriff, is how we're working with the other agencies. Just the other night, we had a big arrest on some smash and grabs down at a convenience store in South County, and Palmetto got some leads on it. They passed it along to us. We passed it to Sarasota. It reached out to DeSoto County, and we made some very important arrests there.
We did, and I hope we're able to link those particular individuals either by video or physical evidence to each one of those cases, because it's going to clear some cases for us, and they had been doing this for, well, since November, I believe.
Okay, don't go away. We'll be back with our Deputy and Employee of the Year right after this.
Your skills and interpersonal communications resulted in a calm and rational conclusion to this incident.
If only everyone would take a moment to lock your car, we could drastically reduce vehicle burglaries.
G-morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Since the storm, classrooms are packed. One of my classes has 62 kids in it. 2 to 3 hours on the bus to get to school.
We're getting like into fights at school. Dropped out of high school my junior year. It wasn't fun. It was fun for the first week. You know, didn't go to school, just hung out.
I got kicked out of school and nobody cared about me, so I don't care.
I sort of got messed up into gangs. I was doing really bad.
Going late to school, cutting, I almost got in trouble with the police.
But I ain't gonna let the chain stop me from doing what I want to do. Try ball, you're gonna lose though.
30 seconds is not nearly enough time to show you the thousands of people who die in Florida each year from prescription drug abuse.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sheriff's Patrol. Along with Manatee County Sheriff Brad STEUBE, I'm Dave Bristow. Each year, the Sheriff's Office honors its deputies and employees at the annual awards banquet. The first awards we'll tell you about are the Robert Moulter Memorial Volunteer Award and the Bealls Humanitarian Award.
To quote one of our all-time greatest presidents, Ronald Reagan, "No matter how big and powerful government gets and the many services it provides, it can never take the place of volunteers. Volunteers are the lifeblood of this community, and through the generosity of the Robert Moulter Memorial Award, we are able to recognize one from our agency who has given so much of themselves to our community. To do so, each year we solicit our employees for the names of individuals who they believe best represent the criteria set forth by this award. One who goes above and beyond expectations in their commitment to their community, service, or organization. This year, we received 4 nominations. They were for Thomas Beckerleg, who is a bailiff deputy, Deborah Freer, a law enforcement deputy, Edward Thomas, a callback CID volunteer, and Steve Winfield, one of our volunteer community service aides. We are pleased to have Robert Moulter's widow, Faith Moulter, and his son, Dan Moulter, here with Sheriff STEUBE to present the check to this year's award recipient Deputy Deborah Freer. Deputy Freer has served our community for many years. She has coordinated social activities in a retirement community, created summer and after-school programs for the Girls Club. She has volunteered her time as a guardian ad litem and has directed her church's children's ministry. At the Sheriff's Office, she has served on the hostage negotiations team as an advisor for the Explorer Cadets and as a member of the Family Assistance Committee. Deputy Freer is a living representation of the examples set forth by Mr. Moulter, and she has been selected to receive this year's Robert E. Moulter Volunteer Award, named in honor of his memory. Congratulations.
Shock. I guess I don't understand any of this. I think there's so many wonderful people in our agency that are so deserving of this. So I'm very honored and very humbled. I don't get it. I mean, I guess I don't understand being honored for something I feel like I do naturally and love doing. So it's a privilege, and I'm very grateful.
When you think about humanitarians, you quickly realize that their motivation comes from a different source. As an example, when you think about celebrities and actors, you quickly realize that their motivation is from a different place. As an example, when they get up and receive their awards, such as their Oscars and such, you realize that for them is the motivation getting that award. The humanitarians are different. When they get their rewards, it's the smiles and the fact of knowing that they've made a difference in those folks whose lives are a little less fortunate. And that's really what makes people like our recipient today that special. Today we're here to honor Cheryl Seiss. And what I'd like to do, Cheryl is Cheryl generously and cheerfully contributes her time, money, and resources to the many charity organizations supported by the Sheriff's Office, such as the American Cancer Society, Relay for Life, Flight to the North Pole, Food Bank, United Way, Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranches, and the Police Athletic League. In addition, for the past 11 years, she has assumed the responsibility of coordinating the monthly blood drives for the Sheriff's Office. This was an ongoing effort where she planned events, distributed flyers, and recruited participants to give the gift of life for the benefit of others. Cheryl demonstrated an upbeat attitude and is always alert to offer an encouraging word when needed. She shows an active interest in others, whether family, friend, co-worker, or strangers. Her positive outlook is an inspiration and model for anyone aspiring to the attributes of a humanitarian. For these contributions and others, please join me in congratulating Cheryl Seiss as a recipient of the Bealls Humanitarian Award for 2012. Cheryl?
I'm going to be the deputy now. I should have got my hair done better.
We work with so many people that do so many things that it's just nature to join in with that, whether it be if somebody loses a loved one or just helping out in a fire, whatever it might be, you know, that we can do, we do as an agency, and they tell you that when you first employ, but you just don't know until you work here. So that was really an honor to be recognized and unexpected.
Well, Debbie and Cheryl both do so much, not only at our agency, but throughout their time in our community, and that was evident by them receiving these awards.
And whenever you see Cheryl Seiss in the hallway, she always has a smile on her face.
She does.
You can
She
count on that.
certainly does. She's our mail lady.
Yep, yep. Sheriff, now it's time to meet our Deputy and Employee of the Year.
Robert Feverston, please step forward. On November 18th of 2009, a brutal homicide occurred in Palmetto. You were tasked with the fingerprint comparisons in this case. Over 100 fingerprints of family members and friends were compared by you. You examined latent prints from over 100 pages of a medical dictionary that was recovered as evidence and made a hit that matched the suspect. You testified twice in the trial, and prosecutors commended you on your work. Because of you, and also, I'm sorry, I failed to mention Adrienne Walls, who's no longer with our agency, but she had an intricate part in this also. She's the one who actually found the fingerprint, and Robert matched it. So for your contribution and your conviction, you're going to be awarded 2012 Employee of the Year. Congratulations.
I was just doing my job. This case took a lot of work. It took a lot of time. I was really happy when things started coming across and we started getting some good fingerprint evidence in. And when I actually started making some good identifications on it, that really pleases me. Of course, anytime I make an identification on a case, it pleases me, because I know we can move forward with things at that point. So, but I felt good about it.
This next person I asked to stand forward, obviously, is going to be the recipient of the Deputy of the Year for 2012. I would like Deputy Justin Warren to step forward, please. On February 16th of 2012, you responded to a suicide attempt where the victim had barricaded himself inside his home and opened all his jets on his stove in an effort to flood the residence with natural gas. The man also said that he would ignite the gas if law enforcement responded. You and other deputies took positions around the house, and after a long period of time, the man opened the garage door, but then darted back into the house, pressing the garage door shut. You took quick action to activate the safety mechanism, and the door opened again. The man was armed with a knife and had cut a hole in the wall in order to see you. You used the same hole to communicate with him, encouraging him to have no fear and that we were there to help. Deputies were surrounding the residence, armed and ready to take action, but you kept your weapon holstered and continued efforts to build a rapport with the man. After a long dialogue, the man exited the house and surrendered to deputies. Your skills and interpersonal communications resulted in a calm and rational conclusion to this incident, with no one being injured, for which you were awarded Deputy of the Year of 2012. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was something that happened really quick, and sometimes when you're out there, you don't have time to think. You do. And I'll tell you, I was lucky. I felt safe that night. I had a lot of good deputies there watching my back, and I was doing the same for them. And you know, it worked out. You know, it was a team effort completely, and everything worked out good. Everybody went home safe. That was the important thing.
Sheriff, again, we congratulate Deborah Freer for the Robert Moulter Memorial Award, Cheryl Seiss for the Bealls Humanitarian Award, our Employees of the Year, Robert Featherston and Adrian Walls, and our Deputy of the Year, Justin Warren. Of course, our Deputy of the Year started out by being named Deputy of the Month, and our first Deputy of the Month for this year is John Moore. Deputy Moore was honored for his actions involving a suicidal man in East Manatee County. The man was trying to kill himself when Deputy Moore intervened and prevented him from committing suicide. Our Employee of the Month is Seiss Basil. In other news from the Sheriff's Office, Mark Morey has been promoted to Sergeant, and Scott Williamson, Brian Moreland, John Hurd, and John Neary have all been promoted to First Class Deputy. In years of service, Sergeant Keith Wallace is now a 20-year veteran of MSO. And we have several retirements to pass along. Sergeant Mecky DeSazer, Sergeant Rich Murray, Detective Debbie Kirkland, and Deputy Don Stroup. They've all decided it's time for some rest and relaxation. And Sheriff, good luck to them all, and a lot of experience going out the door there.
Well, and as we were doing the awards and talking to them about all the years that they've spent here, I added them up quickly. Well, they're close to 100 years in service to the Sheriff's Office in our community that just walked out that day under retirement. So yeah, these people take a lot of experience with them.
And we were just talking on how when people retire up north, they come down to the warm weather. Well, Rich Murray's doing just the opposite. Yeah. He's heading out west to Utah.
Yeah, to Utah, of all places. But I wish them all well, and they were all dedicated, great employees while they were here, and everybody just seemed to get along with each of them.
All right, we're going to take a time out. We'll be back with more Sheriff's Patrol right after this.
The duties of the Sheriff of Manatee County.
The duties of Sheriff of Manatee County.
On which I am about to enter.
On which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Red 78, watch 32, watch 32. Roll!
You wouldn't text while playing football. You wouldn't text while cheerleading. So why in the world do you think you can text while driving?
Hey Jen, how's it going?
Hi, Mark. Good.
Parents are out of town, having a party. Be cool to finally meet you.
You could bring a friend if you want.
When? Where?
Friday at 8, 5100 Brunson Drive.
Cool. See ya.
See you.
This is a crime prevention alert. Home burglaries can be prevented by following these simple tips. Always lock your windows and doors. Keep areas around your property well lit. If you see unusual or suspicious activity, report it. And never open a door to someone you don't know. For more information, contact our crime prevention section or visit us online at manateesheriff.com.
These are the faces of people just like you, who've turned the corner on a problem. They're turning their neighborhoods into safe, healthy, drug-free communities all across the country. Where did they turn for help? To their Community Anti-Drug Coalition. And where do community coalitions turn for help? To CADCA, Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. It's where coalitions turn for the tools they need.
Emergencies happen within seconds. Often the outcome is tragic and notification can take hours.
That's exactly what happened when my daughter Tiffany died in an accident. It was over 6 hours before we received the horrible news. That's time we'll never get back.
Register your contact information today at toinformfamiliesfirst.org. It's a secure site for law enforcement use.
When emergencies happen, family and loved ones need to know.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sheriff's Patrol. Sheriff STEUBE was recently sworn in for another 4-year term as friends, family, and co-workers attended the ceremony.
Our Sheriff, if you'll put your hand on the Bible and raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
That I will support, protect, and defend.
That I will support, protect, and defend.
The Constitution and government of the United States.
The Constitution and government of the United States.
And of the state of Florida.
And of the state of Florida.
That I am duly qualified to hold office.
That I am duly qualified to hold office.
Under the Constitution of the state.
Under the Constitution of the state.
And that I will.
And that I will.
Well and faithfully perform.
Well and faithfully perform.
The duties of the Sheriff of Manatee County.
The duties of Sheriff of Manatee County.
On which I am about to enter.
On which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
In 2009, we had an 11.7% decrease in overall crime. In 2010, there was another 4% decrease in crime. In 2011, we had a 0.5% increase in crime, but last year in 2012, we've had a 16% decrease in crime. Now, the statistics is one way that we get graded every year, but statistics really don't tell the entire picture. When people feel safe in their neighborhood, when people feel safe taking a walk at night, when people feel safe going to the mall, when people feel safe going to the grocery store, that's the true measure for us. And we still have work yet to do. Thank you very much.
Sheriff, what are some of the things you're looking forward to in your next term? I know, in a way, things have gone by quickly, but some things not so quickly, I guess. But wow, it's hard to believe that we're into your second full term.
I think that we're just going to continue to do what we have been doing. We've been quite successful, but I want everybody to realize that it's not me. It's the men and women at the Sheriff's Office. We have over 1,100 employees that go to work every day and work hard because the majority of them live right here in our community, and they want the same thing that the community wants. They want to live in a safe place. and they are all dedicated to doing their job in order to get there. I think we also need to talk about our community and the way they have been recently helping us with crime. We have encouraged them the last couple of years to pick up the telephone when they see something that's not right, call 911, let us get out there and take a look at it. We talk about community-oriented policing, but who better knows their neighborhood but the people that live in their neighborhood? So folks that are coming home at 9 o'clock at night and there's a car or someone around that vehicle that doesn't appear right, they need to make a phone call to us.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And the community has really, really stepped up, and I've seen more and more of that in the last couple of years. And I think somewhat social media has helped there too, because you know they're getting instantaneous information from us. They're getting it on Facebook, and you know it seems to be helping a lot, and hopefully that'll continue.
When we don't have the number of people out in the field working the calls for service that we need the public's help in order to make sure that crime does go away here.
Sheriff, finally on Sheriff's Patrol, Manatee County was well represented in the recent presidential inauguration in Washington, D.C., with Bradenton police officers and the Manatee County Sheriff's Office working the event. It was quite an honor for local law enforcement.
It was something that you would never forget. I mean, we had a great time. We actually got to see the vice president. We were within arm reach of him, and the president, he was not far from us. We could only see the back of him. We actually got to see Vice President Biden and his wife.
Both of them got out of their motorcade, like the lieutenant said, within at least eyesight of us, and actually see that production, see all that goes into this event from early morning to late at night, how much security is involved, how much preparation is involved, and just the camaraderie of friends you meet from all around the U.S. that you probably will establish a lifetime friendship with.
And it was a great honor to represent the Sheriff's Office and the citizens of Manatee County.
What an honor for our folks to be able to go up to Washington, D.C. and participate in this. And most people probably don't know that this came about because of Mike Rasolowski, the chief of police at Bradenton, who used to work up there. And he got an invitation. Those folks that we were able to send, along with a contingent from Bradenton Police Department, it's just, I can't explain to you what it would have been like to be standing in an area where you get to see the President of the United States.
Well, I mean, if you look at all the law enforcement around the country, just hundreds of thousands of law enforcement, and only a select few get to go up for an event like this.
It's unbelievable. And hopefully these folks that went from our agency this time and the previous inauguration, they'll be able to cherish that for the rest of their life.
Well, Sheriff, that will do it for this edition of Sheriff's Patrol. A reminder to join us on Facebook and Twitter. You can do that by going to manateesheriff.org. For Sheriff Brad STEUBE, I'm Dave Bristow. So long, everyone.